For a moment, it looked like winter was really over, wasn't it? But really, is it? The warm spell that we had this past weekend is fading, but does that necessarily mean that we are going to get a resurgence of winter? Well, we're going to take a look at this and much more in this edition of SoraCast for March 2nd, 2026. Last week, the standard winter weather pattern that we usually see in Japan, where high pressure dominates the Asia mainland and low pressure is prevalent in the Pacific, flipped. And with the low pressure in Asia and highs out in the Pacific, instead of northerly flow of cold Arctic air, we had the reverse. We had warm, strong southerly flow pushing warmer air up into Japan. Well, that's great. It gave us a bit of springtime. Fantastic. And to a degree, that is to be expected. The seasons are, of course, beginning to change, and the winter pattern that we have seen since late November will be shifting. But as we move into spring, the change in the weatherscape is not a simple one-off, one-time done deal. For a few more weeks, there's going to be a tug-of-war of sorts between the seasons where winter patterns will reappear, then give way to warmer systems. For this week, we will see a train of systems move through Japan, sparking rain and, in some areas, snow or sleet across much of the country. As opposed to the winter pattern of moist, cold air blowing down from Siberia and over the Sea of Japan, these systems will be generating over China, then come up across the East China Sea, picking up moisture from the Pacific, and then moving across the Pacific coast. So let's take a look at what these patterns are going to bring for our weather across the country this week. Well, okay, the first such system is a big one, and it's already soaking Kyushu. It'll be moving up the coast today, and by 9 p.m. tonight, much of the western part of the nation, from Kansai onward down, will be getting some sort of rain and potentially heavy bands of 5 millimeters an hour or more. The system will continue up offshore Honshu overnight, and by daylight Tuesday morning, rain will cover pretty much all of the western half of the country in a line from Tokyo to Nagano on down. Higher elevations will see some snow or a snow mix. By Tuesday, rain and, in some places, a rain and snow mix will be approaching Sendai as Kyushu finally gets to see the end of the rain on their side. Moving on, by midnight Wednesday, rain and snow will be over most of Honshu from Kansai all the way up north and east, reaching as far north as Sapporo. Come Wednesday morning, the precipitation will finally taper off in Kanto, while the northern half of the nation, from Kanto on up, will be under rain and snow. Now, rain and snow accumulations will vary across the country, with most areas getting between 15 to 30 millimeters of rain. New snowfall will be limited mostly to the higher elevations, but in those areas you can expect somewhere between 20 to 50 centimeters of new white stuff in the mountains Tuesday. We'll be having a little bit of time on Friday to catch our breath before another low, which will be tracing pretty much the same path, begins its run at Kyushu on Friday afternoon, and that will be giving the country a very rainy and snowy weekend. Parts of Hokkaido will be blessed with another 20 to 30 centimeters of new snow, and the Sea of Japan coast and Alps will be getting between 8 to 20 centimeters. Well, for temperatures, highs will be on the warm side nationwide for this time of year, and even a good portion of towns up in the mountains will be flirting with the freezing mark for daytime highs throughout this week, which will mean that this week's snowfall may start to turn a little slushy fairly quick. Okay, this really isn't the best news for skiers wanting to get an early March vacation on the slopes. So then, here's a look at our 6-day forecast nationwide. Take a look. Winds, however, will be locally heavy as the low moves past the country. Shikoku and Kansai will get breezes of up to 30 kilometers an hour during the day Tuesday, while the stretch from Kansai to Kanto will get strong coastal winds of up to 40 kilometers on Wednesday. As the low then cuts north and goes along the coast, the Pacific coast of the nation from Iwaki on all the way up to Hokkaido will get 30-40 kilometer winds before they finally subside on Thursday morning. These winds, please keep in mind, may affect local rail service, possibly even affect airline flights, so please contact your travel provider for details as time gets closer. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this edition of SoraCast today. Thank you for watching, and we've enjoyed having you. Hey, you know what to do at this point, right? If you like weather and science-related content coming out of Japan, just doink that like and subscribe button. We would love to have you along. You guys take care. Have a good one. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.